Oh, well, I haven't read it, but I sent your email back saying we need to talk about it.
Well, what's he want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a can of worms here. How much do we want to go here? I was just wondering if you knew.
I think it's their currently these guys declared last year. Is that open?
Well, that was my next question. Do you know where the previous values came from? We could just update those.
No, it didn't come from there. Right. Let's have a chat about that. I'd prefer to reduce our insurance right back. We might have a conversation with them, just see if we can, because we're not using.
We won't ever make insurance or infrastructure claims on insurance.
Yeah, we don't make infrastructure claims on insurance.
We just won't do it. Why are we paying the premiums? Because we won't ever do it. And even if we did, it'd be a legal battle to be successful. Because if we wanted to do it, it'd be big sums. So, I don't know. I think I've discussed my position on insurance already.
Yeah.
The issue we've got at the moment is ideally, let's take too much time, but briefly, is understanding what our risk is, and if we have exposure, we start setting aside contingency internally and self-insured. Yep. But we haven't done any of that work. So if we haven't done any of that work, and we don't understand the risk, then we are a bit exposed. But in principle, insurance is only in business to make money, and they only make money by taking more from you than they give back. Yep. That's it.
Yep. So your premise is exactly where I want to get to. Pretty much we've got public damage on bridges and stuff like that. That's our main insurance, or things that we think and they never get there. So.
Well, indemnity is another risk profile that I wouldn't speak to.
Yeah,
I'm really just talking about damage to our infrastructure.
Yeah, that's right.
If we have liability exposure, then that's probably a will question.
Yeah, and I'm only talking about insurance for property. Damage to our infrastructure as well. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, so I think we have to take that one offline.
Right, we'll take that offline.
Wake up, Micah. I need.
We'll deal with that one next week. I've got some other shit from this week, but I'll about that one this week.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So we thought we better get together. Water delivery managers meeting yesterday. We spoke about a couple capital business cases that we need to put forward. We all, in our team, my team, has been putting together a list as well. So I thought it was worth just getting all together, make sure we're on the same page, particularly that we've got only a few weeks to get it all done. So do you want us to go through our list first, Jared, and then you supplement it? Oh, yeah, Loretta's on it. Loretta's all over it. She decided.
What do we want to do? I'm sure I'll talk enough.
Yeah, okay. Loretta, over to you then. You lead what we've got.
I just put through. I've just created a folder on our OneDrive, and started populating with what information I've got. But this is the list of ones that we'd discussed. I do need to add the Winterworks flying ladder one as well. But yeah, so currently we've got the reg relocation from Mayring Road Bridge. So in that I've got the designs, the estimates and all that sort of information that we've got.
Yep.
I am waiting just on an update on that one from Paul to incorporate some additional stuff that Fish thought would be beneficial to do at the same time. So just waiting on an update on that. But yeah,
while we're moving the reg, is it a safety? Is that the one that keeps getting hit by trucks and shit?
Yeah. Yep. The header with the green paint, the mysterious green paint.
The John Deere header. Yep.
Yeah, the John Deere header, correct. That's the one.
So what we need to do is because I did have a quick look at your list yesterday, what we need to do, and that's why I want John to be involved, is we need to group these into where they sit. So I want to just use the current structure for this year to make it simple.
Yep.
So that one would be a major task, I'm pretty sure, John.
Micah!
That
regulator. Yep.
wake her up. I need her to wake up.
Yeah, that'll
Reallocation
probably
would
be
be
a
a
big
major.
chunk of it, mate. So you might want to put too much else in there.
Michael!
So this is what I've asked Dave to have a look at the scope of works as well, and we're going to need to have a catch up, Scott, with Dave and John around what we've done and what we've got coming up as well to mesh it in with these priority jobs as well and see how we get it all to work as well. So that top one would be a major task one, so it's good.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was expecting that, Jared. I didn't know what our position was first.
Yep.
And then, let's look at the overall company position.
Yep.
You got rough pricing on that, Lorinda?
Yeah, I sure do. So at the moment it's sitting at this, but Fish wanted to look at upgrading the gate because it's fairly old, as well as some of the stuff to do with relocating
Michael!
solar panels. So, but at the moment it's sitting at 228.
Sorry, I need your help,
So
baby.
that's about half your budget.
How many
I
gates do you
need
got
your help.
on the site?
I'm in a
Pretty
meeting.
big site. isn't it?
It's a pretty big site. Where is it?
It's 3, I think, Jared.
I think it was 3, yeah.
I'd say you could use your whole budget for the whole project on that one
That's
site.
what I
You
was
upgraded all
thinking,
the
Jared.
gates
So
as
we'll
well.
probably just nip that one up.
Just eat that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we'll put it in as it stands, but we just do need to be careful that maybe there's a way of doing it that can utilise the existing gates, and then when they're right at the end of it, run them to fail before upgrading them or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just to be able to spread that
50
capex cost
seconds.
out. Otherwise, as John's just said, we're going to blow our whole budget for major tasks on one job.
Yeah, for
And to
sure.
tell you the
So,
truth, by the sound, why are we doing it? What's the justification for doing the job? Is it purely because we keep getting this maintenance on it?
yeah, it keeps getting damaged by the header.
Yeah, which is a pain in the arse more than anything. I don't think it's massive costs or anything like that. So that's all right. Anyway, we've got it there. We'll have to look because there'll be some other ones that are critical failures that will have to come through.
We can always choose not to do it.
Yeah, that's. I'm not saying we're not going to do it right now. Let's put it in a list, and that's what we need, and that's why I got John here, so we can make sure that because we will go to, and Dave I would have brought in as well if he wasn't around, but he's crook. We just need to add these to essentially do scoping, and then go through and prioritise and go from there. So
Oh, looking at it can be said, we'll hang it over to next year. Mate.
yeah. Well, that's, at the end of the day, we've just got $8.5 million, and we've just got to make fit what we can make fit. So except for escape. So I do want to try and do that a different way to do that on top. How much is this escape worth?
This escape.
And why is it special?
Let's open. 37. It is. I'll show you what it's referring to. I can find my file back there. I should close everything else, shouldn't I? So there's a work order put in for it. This is another fish one. Let's come over. That'd be great. No, that's not what you want. That's what I want. The escape's too low. It's unable to supply water above 12. Goes over the escape door and possibly concrete.
Right. And we propose putting a flume gate in, or
Road record. Is that the right one? Did I open the right one? I must have. Let's have a look.
Can I share the screen, Lorinda? Just to give you the context. This is the escape, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Zoom out
Going
a bit.
technical here now.
No doubt about you, mate. Can you zoom out a little bit?
That's it. That's the maximum. 2 meter.
No, zoom out. Out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Just so I can get a bit of context where we are.
Okay.
Woodvale Road, John. Yeah, is that in your neck of the woods, is it?
What's wrong with it?
All my drain. It's too low. The customer, I'd say it's come out of this project from the 1144 project where they can't get the height they need. So it's impacting the service level for the customer.
Yeah, okay.
Question for me is, do we need the escape in the first place?
Is that just a pit though, is it? Or
That it drops into that drain just to the south. You had the Woolamai drain to the south.
yeah, but is it a pit? Is that a pit that we could raise?
It said it was an AWMA scissor door, I think, on that. Yeah.
Oh, the control on the front. Blah, blah, blah.
So this one's quite old. It goes back to 2023.
Is that just again zoom out a little bit further, RJ? We're at the end of the channel system there. I don't know this. I don't actually know what channel system is, but it looks like we're right bang on the end of the channel system there. And there's the drain.
90 something, is it?
Woodvale Road. Where's that?
93, is it?
No, it's Denny. It's Denny Supervisor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's 93 is Denny Supervisor.
Yep. Right, let's not, right, so jump out of that. Let's get back to the list. So I want to, if we can, and I want to do this, and this is sort of coming about in the last couple of days from a few conversations, I want to make escapes a thing that we deal with, but we'll deal with them all in the same go, which means that one's not going to be constructed next year, or it might be construction later in the year, but I want to be able to go through a process for all of them to do an assessment, whether we need them, whether we don't need them, what are we going to do with them all. Not deal with ones and twos. Let's deal with the whole lot. I'll put the idea in Ron's mind that we'll do it outside of the 8.5 million because we'll be able to sell the water savings back through Josh's.
There's a problem. The history of it is there's an outlet that is over talking, and this escape's causing that problem.
Yeah, which is a problem. If we just say, and I'm happy to say to Josh's team that we're going through the process, we're going to deal with all of them. This one will be prioritised when we work out what we're going to do, and we'll go from there. So that next one down, I think in your folder, you had you'll stop sharing now, or RJ stop sharing.
Yep, I'll share. Yep. So yeah, that one will just go into the escapes.
Yeah, I'd put it into escapes, and let's that one we're going to try and deal with a little bit tricky to see if we can get some more money. Cool.
Yep.
What did we say, RJ? Non-automated escapes. I've got the. We had mid cost there. $7.5 million. What's the overall cost? About 500 mega year. So if we can get them selling 500 meg a year, sort all the escapes out, so which was decommissioned half pretty much. These are the non-RTU escapes, so there was 66 that through this initial feasibility side of things that would need to be upgraded, 73, so pretty much half decommissioned, half replaced. And you're looking at $1 million in decommissioning costs, which I dare say we could do cheaper than that. And then $6 million in upgrade costs, and I think their upgrade costs they've been using $100,000 for. Yeah, it was $100,000 per. It was $14,000 per decommission and 100 or 96 per upgrade. So $7.5 million. So that's our whole budget. For 1 year. So we obviously don't want to have the $7.5 million if we use the whole lot. It's pretty much the whole budget, so we don't want to be doing that. So, but I want to get these things moving. So, Jimmeringul. So what Ron said to me was, pick one. If you want to be a tree, pick one. So we'll be picking escapes ahead of Jimmeringul, which just means we'll just continue to run the Jimmeringul low like we are, John. And then we'll keep moving through with it. It could be the next priority, but I'd rather the flood structures be our next priority to tell you the truth on top of the Jimmeringul. But we might do, Lorinda, is do a flood, and we've already done this, and this might be the one project that rolls over, is a flood feasibility study project, which would put the Jimmeringel and the flood structures into that. Plus, I've been doing a lot of talking about this in the last couple of days. Plus, so roll over that feasibility study project one, put the Walkall flood structures in there, the Jimmeringel. Yeah, put those two in there. The DC 1000. There's a couple other ones that we need to. There's a few other so feasibility studies to be commenced or in progress. So I just flipped you an email. It's got DC 1000, the Wollmine drain, end of the Box Creek, drainage inlets, remote monitoring on drains, and automation of pump stations. So there are 6 things that we need to go into that. Yeah. So pretty much get engineers to start designing things and stuff like that, and actually start to spend some money just to further develop those feasibility type things. Right. Yeah.
And then there's the canal sensors.
So what? Yeah, So that's how much are we looking at for there? Is it about 80 grand or something? Your computer is really slow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell me
mine was
about
slow.
it. 73.
73. Yeah. So I think that's that's a mitigation. I think that's a standalone project. That's fine. I'm happy to support putting that up by itself. We're essentially got a major risk to our operations, and putting in those additional sensors is plus moving the other ones is a long-term liability that we've sort of haven't had it.
Before we go, that May Run. Oh, sorry, go. Keep
Yeah,
going.
you go.
That May Run road bridge, we've spent $7,000 repairing that in the last 10 years. So that's the 2 incidents.
Yeah. So it's very valid that Fish has raised it, because they have to go out there and fix it, and a few grand each time. But yeah, I don't know if we justify using our whole Capex budget on that one just yet. But I agree, it's a safety concern as well. The guys need to work on the bridge and that sort of stuff as well. So
Well, that is a good point. I didn't think of that.
So we wouldn't be selling it as an issue from the damage side of things. It'd be getting sold as a safety issue. Same as those ones on there. I think there's a couple on there. There's not many of them around, but I think we did get them all in our. How did we do that, John? When we did that, whether it's in Toronto. Yeah, they did a survey. There was a couple on Aratul North Road. That one on Mayron Road. I don't really know off the top of my head if there was many more, but again,
Too many.
yeah, there's just a few sites for the asset management team. If you haven't seen them, they're right on the road. Tendency to get hit by trucks, but also trucks don't slow down when you're working on them either, so they're quite dangerous to work on them.
Was it the canal at the Riverina Highway?
Yeah, that would be one, and the
Springs or something we
Walkall,
were looking at?
the Walkall Canal at Gleason's Bridge. On the way
That
up to
might be
Walkall.
something we could look
which got
into for
some
next year as a
screens.
package.
Yeah. So yeah, I think probably to give Fish and his team some comfort that we're not dismissing it, I'd say package it up as a thing that we go through again and go and do some feasibility type work. On that type of stuff. I'm very happy to start moving into this space as opposed to just committing to doing things over and over. Actually go and spend a bit of money. So you might only put 25 or 30 grand to it or whatever it needs to be. We go out there, get the right people out on site, have a look at our options, develop up the options and recommendations, and then for the next 12 months, that's what we do. And then we work out what the best recommendation is, and then we start to integrate it into the asset management plans over the coming years or whatever we do. But I'm more than happy to start moving into spending a bit of money to be able to get a good solution, as opposed to spending no money, thinking we know what we're doing, and then putting a cost to it, and then we hand them over to poor John and Andy, and then they have to go and try and make it work for the dollars we've given them, and it's not a very good way of doing it. So that top regulate one, I'll be happy to go that way. Yep. The canal level sensors is fine to leave that as a standalone thing.
Monday Wire, I'm assuming we'll leave as a standalone.
It has to be a standalone thing. Yeah.
I did speak with Paul this morning, and he was just waiting on feedback from whatever that lady's name is to get approval to use the concrete matting as an option.
Yeah, Claire, I think. Claire?
Claire.
Claire? Yeah.
Claire.
Yeah.
Claire. So he was just waiting to hear back from her with regard to that. He hadn't heard back from her, but he'll work out some. We've got some costings in there, but he'll actually relook at it to do a combination because his thoughts was combination of rock armouring and concrete matting.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I have no idea why he'd do that. But anyway, that's what I don't really mind what they do. It's not, well, it's going to be our asset, but I'd prefer it all to be concrete matting if we're going to go down that path. But anyway, if he reckons it's better to have rock at the bottom and then concrete matting on the slope, that's, easy to design it on there.
So he was going to get me a budgetary estimate.
Yeah, and it's
for
essentially
next week.
it's from a budgetary point of view, it's very, very similar. No big deal. From a practicality point of view, I don't know why you'd have rock and then that above it and then have two different things you're going to maintain differently and that sort of stuff. But anyway, what do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but we could just ask him.
Can I ask him why?
Ask the question why.
I'll ask why. Yeah.
And if it's a planning issue, if they're going to approve it on the wall, I don't know why like on the upper slope, I don't know why wouldn't approve it on the lower slope.
Wouldn't you go all the way from the top, Cap, or order that stuff to suit, key it at the top and roll it all the way to the bottom?
That's what I would have thought, but it might be too. It's a pretty big bank too, and you might be looking at 10, maybe it's 10 meters. So, which I've seen it on those big, and I don't know how they've installed it, but like those big cuttings and stuff for your highways and stuff. I've seen it on and through your drains and that for the big cuttings. Yeah. It would make sense to me to have the same material, not have a different materials through there, because then you're going to join them in. So there would be a reason, but I feel it's a planning reason at the moment, which if we can alleviate that would be a good result, I think.
Yeah. All right. So Fish is working on something with the solar panels and batteries.
Is that for the EPA sites? For the environmental, not EPA, that's environmental protection, environmental monitoring sites? Is that what he's talking about there? Open that up. Is it?
I've got nothing.
You got
I've
nothing.
just got a folder. Yeah, because he's working on the estimate at the moment.
Yeah, it's about 50 grand, so yeah. It's for the environmental monitoring sites. And to tell you the truth, it's very questionable whether we can capitalise it or not, because they're just replacing the batteries and upgrading the boards and stuff like that, which we do on our sites constantly all the time, and we can't capitalise them. So I actually don't know if they can or they can't do it, to tell you the truth.
But can we capitalise batteries?
No. Not at the moment.
Okay.
This is you know that email about working in isolation that I sent back to Scott and Ron the other day? This needs to be a part of that conversation. We've got Penny telling us to do one thing. We've got Rob and that saying they want to do something. We've got Andy and that who obviously are the ones dealing with it all the time. It really needs to come into your team, to the owner. It's a bit all over the joint.
That those great big batteries, Jared, because that'd be a safety issue too, wouldn't it?
They're the ones, I don't know what size they are, I must admit, but it's those big EPA, not big, those 20 on EPA, not EPA, the environmental monitoring sites. And Penny came to me and said, I don't even think we're doing it. Ventia, I'm pretty sure Ventia are doing it. And the initial plan was, when I went through it with them, was that when they fail, upgrade the site and go from there. I think Fish and that got into it and said, there's actually a little bit more to it than that, so we want to be able to do it and that sort of stuff. And then if we're essentially more than the cost of the site to redo it and stuff like that. So they were looking into that, but I actually don't know. And this is why I was a bit funny on that email from the other day about when they started to talk to you directly about componentisation and stuff, Scott, without talking to Andy and that, because they've been working with them for 6 months or more on this sort of stuff. And they weren't involved in the conversations at all. So we've got these jobs that are ready to go. And we really do need to know.
I'm sorry, I was just getting myself ready. Yes, Southern Reg 7 Ives supply hire. So Scott and I are meeting with Fish on Monday to get a bit more of an understanding on this, but this is essentially what we know. The death ridge. To the full height raise.
I think I'm going to replace the death ridge with something else, not just replace the supply height for a death ridge with. Anyway, go through that. But that would be, again, it comes into that major work. What was it called? What we call
Major tasks.
Major tasks. Space again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rated capacity is 900 meg. Jesus. Maybe that's not. It's supposed to be 90 meg. I'm not sure. It's a big gap between 100 meg and 900 meg. Yeah, right. Again, that just falls into, you guys will work through the details with Fish.
Yeah.
The answer is there's a major task bucket. It needs to fit within, I think we put 500 grand a year in there, John.
Yep.
There'll be some civil structures that Dave will have as well. We need to work out what the priority is and spread the risk out. So I don't really mind which ones we do. To tell you the truth, I don't get into this level of detail, and Ron and all those guys above don't get into this level of detail for the business case. The business case just says pretty much, as per the last 5 years, rinse and repeat, we're going to put 500 grand into major tasks. Move on.
Right, yeah. So these don't
that's
actually
pretty much
need
what
to.
I've just put it in. I've just finished it actually, Jack.
John, there you go. John's just done it. How do you justify the 500 grand? Just very briefly.
Very briefly, it's just the structures that have come up due for replacement or damage beyond repair.
So from a business case point of view, you guys, I'll keep working through the scope, work with John and his team, Andy and his team as well. But for the business case, we don't need to go into that level of detail. As John's just said, he's just rinsed and repeated it from last year. We just put the bucket of money in there, and then whatever scope we can fit into the 500 grand, that's what we do.
Happy for it to be upgraded if we need to.
I think the answer is for this year, just leave it as it is. Next year, when the guys take it over, because they'll be coming to you as opposed to you going to them with it, then if they want to change the reason and that sort of stuff, let it go from there. Because at the end of the day, I reckon we're at a point I don't even know if they're reading them at all. So,
So in line with the current asset management strategy, the business case funds to decommission complete life extension works or complete replacement works on assets due for replacement in FY26. That's the exact summary.
yep, that's fine with me. So anything so that just comes in there. Any bridges, any regs, any that sort of stuff just comes and drops in there. That we relocated that regulator this year. That would have come into that same bucket, didn't it, John? Yeah.
Yep.
So we just try and find the email. But,
So in a nutshell, the ones that are in major tasks, such as the Southern Reg 7 or the May Rung, if we were to look at that, don't need a submission.
no, they don't need
The
individual
only
submissions.
submissions that will require are the escapes package,
Yep.
the flood feasibility package,
Yep.
the canal sensors, and the Mundiwa.
Yep.
And then we'll look at whatever Fish puts in for the solar panels and batteries and consider that separately.
Yeah, I'd consider that separately. That'd be separate by itself. Yeah. We said the flood feasibility, didn't we? Which is, to tell you the truth, we've already got that done. I would just upgrade it and then because I don't want to have any rollover. If they might say it's just easy to roll over because I've already got the project number and stuff set up, but we might just rehash the business case and put it back in again just to say we haven't actually started this work, but we need to, and we're about to start. So, and I sent you that list. This is what I was talking about before. Can you see that? So DC 1000, the Woolmire drain, the end of the Box Creek, the drainage inlets, the remote monitoring of the drains, and the automation of pump stations are the things we need to look into. I've said the feasibility study is complete for the Walkle flood structures and the non-RTU escapes, but we'll include the Walkle flood structures in that money as well. to further refine that feasibility study I want to be able to get it to a point where it's, at risk of sounding like a politician, pretty much ready to go. Shovel ready, sitting on the shelf for how we actually want to do it, and then hopefully when RJ and Patricia come back through in with their asset management plans, we'll be able to just incorporate those structures, because they're not actually ridiculously expensive. I thought they were going to be dearer than they actually are, but they, off the top of my head, so we had 7.5 for escapes. Perfect. I don't know if everyone's familiar with these sites. Say yay if you are or not. RJ's put all the information on the system though, so it's $5 million, $5.5 million worth of works. So we can break that up and half of that's on the northern. So we can break it up pretty easily and get $2 million a year type of stuff and knock over most of the jobs, and then do the bigger jobs, or do it the other way around as well. So there's $5 million there. There's 7.5 in the non-RTU escapes. One of these roads done. That was just the works we've done. Yeah. So we've done on drains, and this is what this email's for Josh. He's trying to do the flood review reporting. We spent 1.9 million in OPEX, and we spent 500 grand in Capex, including the 100 grand we're going to spend up here to move those feasibility studies forward. Those 2.5 million we spent. So that'll come out in the reporting.
What were the capex about, Joe?
Just I put 50 grand in for the Hindley Road pump site, which I have a feeling wasn't all of it, but and then there was stuff like NCS work, battery protection, that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All those bits and pieces. The level 3 assessments, that sort of stuff. Wasn't out. Well, the biggest one was there was $160,000 bridge in the non-compliant bridges as well, or 150 or whatever it was. So these are the ones I want to pick up and get these moving again, and then the non-RTU escapes. Get a bit of focus on that as well. I did just flick that email through to Scott this morning, which is just a list, but it's doing the job.
The other one that we'd like to put in as well is to do run a repeat of the LiDAR on the next winter work zone next year, and then pick up the drained winter works 25 section in photogrammetry.
Okay, how much are we looking at there?
I'm waiting on budgetary estimates from Ben to come through.
Yep, because we see how we go.
Yeah. Ben's happy to do the flying and the processing to cut out any middleman, so that should lessen the costs as well.
That means we're not working with Veris anymore.
Correct. Sorry, did that sound too happy?
No, I'm not against it.
I don't think I told you, Jared, but they asked for a reference.
I'm sure they did.
Oh, we did. No, we did talk to Jared about that. Yeah, at the
I do remember that now. Yeah.
machine learning. Yeah, I didn't get a response to my no, or my suggestion that they contact Becca, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Go for your life.
I did blame my management.
If you can't blame your manager, what are we here for? Rightio. So these are the ones that are the rinse and repeat type of ones that we, you can see sort of up here as well. So we got typically battery protection, 500 grand. Also HDP, civil life extension works, 3 million. Channel lining and heavy, that's not actually one. Vehicles, that's not a recurring one either. We've got battery protection, major tasks, minor tasks, channel reconstruction. So they're 500, 100, and 500. minor plant, heavy plant, light vehicles are 3 that we work off whatever's in the rolling 5-year plan, John.
Yeah, those vehicles are looking like about 570.
Yep.
Thereabouts. We're still debating the canopies on the back.
Yep. But any air conditioners, not that. So, are you doing all these business cases, John? So
I can do, mate. They're all rinse and repeat, really.
Yep. So,
Except for the heavy vehicles and light vehicles, I like to.
Yeah.
Is that an up-to-date spreadsheet?
Well, I think this is the last. She just sent this to me. I'm pretty sure this is. It's for June 25.
See where we ended up there, Jared.
Where am I going?
28, line 28.
201. It cost you today.
Yeah.
201 with 48 remaining.
Can't be right.
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% sure. She sent me a lot of sheets.
Yeah, right. Do we have a clear target this year?
8.5 million. Is that what you mean? Clear cap.
Well, last year we kept in those capital meetings. We didn't know what the target was. There wasn't.
Oh.
It kept shifting.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. We have a clear target. It's 8.5 million. Yep.
What about any carryover?
No, that's what we're trying to eliminate that. We're trying to get into it. Just a
But,
so hopefully.
But budget 8.5, calendar year, deliver 8.5. That's right. And if we don't deliver it, we lose it. Yeah.
That's
much left over.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. We do a pretty good job spending capital.
Yep.
I was just looking at our channel remediation. I just wondered where that, because I reckon it ended up at about 420.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, no, you're right there, John. And I don't know if this is does say the year to date, but this is June year to date too. So those invoices wouldn't have come until July.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to remember that the finance team stopped doing any of this type of stuff as soon as they get halfway through June, and then we're just on our own for the next 3, 4, 5 months. So, these are old numbers now.
And so is that the Sandhills that you're talking about, John?
Yeah, that's the Sandhills, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have an exact finish figure.
I reckon we're about $7,000 under the 400, and then Paul's invoice coming. So I reckon we would have landed at 417, maybe somewhere around there.
What was the initial? It was 400, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was 320, I think, with $80,000 contingency.
Yeah.
Up in my head.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we got several other. So it's $6 million in those ones, and we're going to go up a little bit in light vehicles, but I think we're going to come down a bit in heavy vehicles. So just say it's roughly $6 million of the 8.5. Plus we've got 1.5 for Lewin, which they haven't recruited anyone yet, which is I've done a lot of work on that. It's not amazing yesterday to hear that they haven't started that recruiting process yet. But anyway, so I've got 1.5 for them plus 500 for Monday last, so that's 2. Plus the 6 is 8, so I've only got 500 grand to spare. Going off those very rough round numbers. So by the time we put in the flood review, which is on there, which I do want to keep that going. The Holly pumps is done. The Denny air conditioning will need to be done if it's not already. The Bergen Vigil will need to be done. That one's, the Sandhills is done. Channel lighting's done. I'd argue the case that Josh's stuff isn't. It shouldn't be there. I'd say we probably need to leave the other 400 grand for the others. ICT transformation. Oh yeah, so the ICT transformation can't be capitalised now, so that's got to be absorbed into OPEX. So I got told that yesterday. So that'd be interesting how they absorb that $2.5 million. But the RMW stuff, I'm not even acknowledging. That's not a part of the $8.5 million. Starlink's on its way. ICT monitor, that's our radio. So then we've got the network uplift. Those things are all done. Stuff by Megas.
Where's the games all gone?
Right. Okay. So you've got your list, John. You've got yours
Almost there.
as well.
No.
So heavy plant, light plant, minor vehicles, major tasks, minor tasks, channel reconstruction, and then life extension works and battle protection.
Yep.
So I think if we just start with rinse and repeat, and then we'll adjust as needed. Yeah, so we need to do, as I've said, Dave needs to do his work with his scoping work, which will impact the civil life extension work. It'll impact the battle protection. It'll impact the major tasks, maybe the minor tasks. Sure, Pete's got the channel reconstruction going as well, but he just needs to work within his money. So yeah, we get that scoping done from Dave, then we can reconvene and catch up about these numbers here.
Yeah, we might have to bump that NCS meeting on Tuesday too, because if you're available, mate, we're going to be tied up with interviews Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I just sent him. I don't know who actually sent me the thing, but I just sent it back saying, "Can we do 1 o'clock, not 11:30?" So I don't actually know who I sent that to, but whether it went to Dave or whether it went to Josh Freak, I'm not sure. But yeah, I did. I've mentioned that already to somebody. Not sure who though. Yeah, so if you can handle those ones, and then so we need to do that scoping work with Dave for them, because what we'll talk about Lorinda, they've got a couple of jobs that potentially might need to come into that major task one, and we need to really understand and hand over those 3 or those 4 that I've got highlighted there. I want to, through this process over the next coming month, finalise this from your side of things, put it on the table, and then hand it over to Scott's team, and then we'll decide on the scope for this coming year, and then hand that process over as we go.
Plant, mate? Where do you want to go with that?
Well, if you're ready, but maybe you just keep hanging on to because you've got that pretty much under control, I think, don't you?
Yep.
If you're happy to continue to roll with that, maybe we'll just keep that one with you for now, because that one's a relatively easy one to hand over. I think, say next year we can hand over.
I can roll with that and happy to take any advice from Scott if he's got any input.
Yep. So at the moment, heavy plan that, do we have hours or do we just, I'm not sure how we do that one, but the light vehicles is 150,000 Ks is the trigger at the moment.
Look, I haven't, like the light vehicles, I haven't set that target on machines yet, but we sort of, once again, it all went out the window, but we have largely replaced all our machines now, so it is a decision I need to make shortly where we're going to change over.
Yep. So I'm happy for that one just to be, we'll transition that one next year with the intention that how we manage the asset management plan moving forward. We'll set those, we'll do some work when we're going through that when it's needed. We've got a little bit of time there, so we'll just go through that process as we're going, but I don't think we're going to get to the narrow mind 40,000 K changeover per vehicle situation. But
Is that where they were?
you went in the car with Craig. Yeah. That's what he said. I don't know how many Ks he had on it, but it was pretty much a brand new year.
39.
It was due to be handed over.
1,000 Ks to go.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
In saying that though, Jared, and I'd have to go back through figures to confirm it, but when Peter O'Toole was here changing them things over at 80 grand, and this was out of his mouth and he was doing the job, but he reckoned he was making money on those cars.
Yeah, and I heard that as well.
You think about discount we're getting.
Yeah, and then
it's
sell
11 grand a vehicle they're giving us discount. If we had them at a good, won't go to it now, but if you had them at a good kilometre rate where the dealer could put it back on the floor, you know, you'd have some pretty good possibilities, I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And there's mobs around who will just buy them too. Like it's not as hard as we make it out to be sometimes. And I know Barlow's got his own agenda, not his own agenda, but his own way of doing things when it comes to that side of things. But the last 2 vehicles I've sold on those We Sell Car bloody websites. They ring you up, offer you a price, and then come pick it up. And it's better than what the dealers give you. If you can say I've got 10 of them coming, I'm sure that these are the Ks, here's the photos. You can actually set it up so you know what you're getting before you're getting it and all that sort of stuff. So there's opportunities there. Let's work with
there's brokers out there that do the same thing too. Yeah.
Facilities and warehouse side of things. There's also, to tell you the truth, and I'll nearly kill Jeff Richards, whatever his name was, when he was going through it. But there's also plenty of merit in leasing vehicles and that sort of stuff as well. Like there's all sorts of stuff that can, if it's worthwhile, having a look at. But by the sound of things, the 11, I think, and it didn't sway it at the time, but $11,000 discount is a big discount. But it's going to be pretty hard to beat that, no matter what happens. So, but
in saying that, Jared, I haven't gone out for other quotes. Like, do I still need to?
You can, but all you do is waste somebody's time.
Waste somebody's time, but
yeah, that's all you're doing. But it doesn't hurt to. I wouldn't for this. I wouldn't put any extra effort into it for now, John. As long as we're meeting our procurement process.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what they've done for us, Jared. You know the 5 vehicles we had sitting there?
Yep.
They're still sitting there. They dropped $1,500 off them.
And I wouldn't worry about going back out to the market for the Pedum. So, for all these reasons, we're going to continue to use our local supplier.
Yep. In business cases, mate, in this time phase,
yep,
you want to make this January 26, and then.
Yep. So you just change that date up in the top in your bar to the first of the first 26, and then just pull it across. Yep. So for some reason, there's 13 columns there, not 12. But anyway, I don't know why that. But yep, that's what you can do, and then take your best guess at when you're gonna need it. Right out. So John's got his rinse and repeat ones that we're going to do. Happy, Lorinda and Scott, that you know what you need to do. It's probably the escapes one. We need to have a separate workshop one just to work out how we're going to go through that and go through what we're actually going to do. Whether
there's got to be a water saving in them, Jared.
Yep. So what we had. That document I had up, and it was this is the challenge with it, is it's a management recommendation one. It's not a and it definitely is. It might be from where we've just been, John. Definitely not our footprint. Bluetooth. It's definitely not. It's definitely not one of our slip lens. Anyway, there's the cost, 6 million and one that I was talking about before. Water savings. Here you go. So 500 megs a year. So what we actually need to do is we need to work with Josh and get him to put that. I don't know why it says Jim Ringle here. That a copy and paste error, but get him to put that 489 megalitres per year through their modelling, whatever they do, and work out what the return is. That's probably step one for the escapes. To understand at 7 million, which I think is high because we just looked at an escape and it was 40 grand and we're allocating 96. So which 27 of contingency, and then we've got $14,000 a site to decommission. John, I don't think there's concrete in them, but I don't think it's quite 14 grand worth of decommission. Like you're probably looking at a couple of grand for the contractor or ourselves if we did it. Yeah. You'd probably do it if you did it ourselves. You'd probably do it for half that price, I'd imagine, including the concrete disposal. Yeah. So there's lots of opportunities. So the whole point is we need to, even for the escapes, we may. Anyway, let's get into it and have a look. So that document's on the system in your folder: Q Drive, GHD data, non-automated escapes. Step one is we need to start talking with Josh straight away just to work out how much we can actually sell that water for and how long it would take to pay for itself. And then the second one is to get into refining it down with Paul and that sort of side of things. So I wouldn't want to just put it down as a, say, $50,000 job for the year for the thing, though. I would rather let's ask for the whole lot type of situation and then work backwards from there and see if we can get it moving. Because the answer might be we might roll it out over years and that sort of stuff as well. But there's a compliance risk with it, which is the reason we're going to be able to get it going. So there's water savings to be had, we can sell it. There's safety, and then there's a compliance risk that's rearing its head pretty quickly over the last couple of days around the financial auditors have brought it up to say that we're charging variable rates on meters that aren't validated, and this is a part of that because we're working off our bulk deliveries at the top of our system, but we don't actually have a closed system. So if they want to get into the nitty-gritty, which they like to, they could start to question how we're measuring our escape flows to actually be able to derive our delivery efficiency. So I'm going to use that opportunity.
You want me to take them to one go?
Yeah, well, it doesn't take much to look, but what it opens up, which we don't want to get into, what it could open up is the can of worms around essentially we could be fudging the books and that sort of stuff to make it look like our outlets are right, but covering all in the escape side of things. So not that we're doing that, but the answer is we're not doing anything with them. But let's just use the opportunity and get it moving. So questions? Everybody know what they need to do?
I have a question. That $8.5 million for future years, I presume that goes in the budget and goes to the board. Is there any appetite to change that number if our planning suggests otherwise?
Not at the moment. So in 2023, they committed to the next 5 years of that $32 million OPEX and $8.5 million Capex.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that the Capex, even off their current numbers, the Capex spend should be 12.8, I think it was, or pretty much 13 million. So even though they said, yep, because they're trying to build that, Ron's trying to build the fund from the 54 million to the 100, so that's the target, so we can't go too hard. But that's why this is a bit of a out of the box one on the side to say we want to spend an extra $7 million in the next couple of years, or 7.5.
It's likely, so this will be FY 26, 27, 28, will all be 8.5.
Yep. Yeah, so we're a bit hamstrung still for the next couple of years.
Yeah, so when we do our capital planning, outside of that 8.5, so I suppose we limit it to 8.5 for the next few years. Well, I guess we'll do the asset planning first. So this is what we should do. Then when we do the rationalization, limit it for the next 2 more years at 8.5, and then put forward what we think it should be, and then we can have that conversation, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's probably even only 1 year because what we're talking about, so next year is 26, which is really not
this
at all.
This year's 26, FY 26, then 27.
Yeah, we're in the calendar years now, so you're worrying about 2026.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know, but the financial statements are still going to be, and I'm still not quite sure how they're reconciling our calendar approach to the financial statements. So I'm keen to see this year. I haven't looked at last year's FY25.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they've switched, but I'm also keen to see how they reconcile it. Because the budgets will be going to the board as financial years, not calendar years.
They're approving these are calendar years. So Capex is going in October, so that's why it's going to be. So we've already gone to.
I understand that, but the financial reporting, we're not doing 2 sets of financial statements. There's no way.
No, that's right. No, I don't even know what they report to data as capital one. Like apart from, I think it's a minor. It gets lost, and not gets lost. It gets absorbed into their. Not the
there'll be a starting balance. The changes and then closing balance, and that will be the asset creation. Will be the capital spend effectively.
Yeah, but I don't think
anyway,
maturity it's not that well. No,
I'm not quite sure. I'm fully behind operationally how we do it, but from an accounting perspective, I'm not quite sure. You know what I mean? What we're doing?
Yeah. And the answer is I don't think. It's not reconcilable.
Irreconcilable. Yeah. All right. No worries.
Let's not worry about that too much. The answer is we've got 8.5 for 26, 8.5 for 27, That was 23, 4, 5, 6. I reckon like you guys might have to deal with 8.5 for one. Like say this year's just rinse and repeat for 27. You might have to deal with it for 28, but then for 29, I think the answer is we'll be right to go. I think that's the time frame. So I think we're right after that.
You don't want big step changes either.
No, that's right. So we want to be able to smooth it.
Like if we're going to ramp up, maybe 20% a year or something, but you don't want to go from 8.5 to double that because we wouldn't be able to deliver it.
Yeah. What we were going to ramp up is to start to do some channel work, which is coming. If we go from 5, as we had in that list, John's going to put another 500 grand in for channel reconstruction. We changed the name of that, or we maybe even keep channel reconstruction still, but then we add another project called channel refurbishment and add $10 million a year to it every year.
Yeah.
Maybe start at 5, but eventually it'll maybe be 10. And then that's where a lot of focus goes to that.
Well, and as you're saying, maybe we can shift some of that, if we're actually going to line it and protect it, shift some of that T-silting into...
Yeah, and then on the flip side, OPEX starts to come down as well, so yeah.
Yeah. Alright, that's okay. I'm not sure that I'm 100% clear on what exactly we have to do, but I also don't have articulate questions to be able to ask you. So we'll do a bit more work, and as I have questions solved.
I think the one that, without looking at Lorinda's list again in front of me, but I think the main one that you have to come back to me on is the escapes, but RJ knows as much about it as I do. So
He's the man.
We'll make it up as we go, won't we, RJ?
Alright.
We'll make it up as we go and fumble our way through.
Thanks, John.
Right, all good. Thanks, guys.
You got a minute, Joe, before you go, mate?
Thank you.